So I'm coming to you from the future, sort of. I'm just doing a bit of an intro for this video because I sort of, like I did a bit of a cooking video, but I kind of want to just mesh it together with like another day just so that I don't have like a random cooking video and then like a random art day video because, you know, they're not very long. So I just thought like maybe I could put them together. So you're going to see me say like goodbye at the end of the cooking video, but actually it's just gonna transition into like another day. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy. So I'm just in the kitchen and I'm making something for lunch dinner. It's already like 1:30, but whatever. On a day where I don't work, I don't feel really that hungry. Yesterday I had 4 classes back to back and I was like starving by the time lunchtime came around, but today I just don't really care that much. So anyways, I'm cooking something. I found a recipe on Pinterest. Oh my god, this music. And I'm just kind of using it as a rough guideline because I don't have the specific ingredients. It asks for baby potatoes. I just have regular potatoes, so I just cut them up. I don't have like baby tomatoes, so I just have like canned tomatoes, which whatever, same thing. It's just not gonna be in like a little round circle, so it's gonna be like a different texture, I guess. And then it doesn't ask for peppers, but I'm adding a yellow pepper and a red pepper just because I feel like it. It asks for peas. I don't have peas, so I'm gonna add some green beans and just cut them sort of like smaller. And then what else? I have the right spices. I think it's cumin and whatever else, I don't know. And then I've got, it asks for soaked cashews, but I don't have those. So I was gonna use a different nut, but I was like, that won't be the same. So I've just got chickpeas. I'm not gonna like blend them up or anything. I'm just gonna leave them as is. And then I have a can of coconut milk, and that is what I am doing right now. So I'll kind of show you, and we'll just do this together and see what happens. So I've got my potatoes steaming away. I don't want to open it because I'll release all the steam. And then I'm just gonna cut these guys up, as well as my green beans. I've got quite a few here, but I like beans, so that's why I've got them. Got all my cans, and yeah, let's get doing this. 1 down, 1 to go. Okay, red one's done now, and then I just gotta cut those beans up. Okay, let's check these potatoes quickly. Hasn't been too long, but I don't really want them to be overcooked. Okay, give them a couple more minutes. Okay, I've cut all the tips off, and I'm gonna go back through and cut them into little pieces. And they're done. Good. And that's basically all the prep I need to do. So I turned this off. Those are done. Now I just have to assemble, I think. Just putting in some coconut oil. So you can't really see it. Oh yeah, the coconut oil's in there, and now I will add a ½ teaspoon of cumin, and then after that roasts for a little bit, then I will add in the potatoes. Basically, you just roast it a little bit until it's fragrant, so like 30 seconds, and then we're gonna add in potatoes. At this point, I can add in a ½ cup of water, and then I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then just mix that around, and then once it's all mixed in, then you can add in your tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whatever tomatoes you have, like a cup or 2 cups. I just kind of throw in whatever, and it usually comes out pretty good. You can just let your tomatoes and potatoes simmer for about, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, and then you're gonna add in your spices, well, the rest of your spices, which I don't have the exact spices on the recipe. It called for ½ teaspoon of garam masala, ½ teaspoon of coriander and a half teaspoon of basil. But I don't have coriander, I just have cardamom. But cardamom does pair well with these spices, so I'm just going with it. Yeah, so just waiting for this to finish. Actually, at this point, I'm also gonna add in my beans because I don't have the peas, which you would just throw in at the end, because these actually do need to cook a little bit. So I'm gonna throw them in and now. So if you're following the same thing that I'm doing, then do that now. This wasn't called for on the recipe, but I'm gonna throw in just a cube of stock just to add some flavor to this. Also, if you're following me, you can also add in your peppers now. I keep forgetting that I have all these extra vegetables. Anyways, I've added them now. And I'm just gonna let them simmer for another 4 minutes. I don't know if you can hear all the music in the background. I tried to put it on kind of low so you don't really hear it too much, but I just have my old cell phone just playing that random music. So far I've heard like some country music, a bit of Sia, and some Big Bang, and also, oh my gosh, I'm just forgetting it right now. Anyway, she's a super popular Korean singer. Yes, I still listen to Korean music and I still love it. So, I mean, it's kind of inevitable. I think anybody who has moved to Korea and left, I mean, if they were impacted by the K-pop scene at all, or if they got into the culture, then it's a little bit addictive in some ways. Like, the music is really catchy, and it just like is, I feel like it's always in good spirits usually. If you're listening to like a really popular K-pop music, obviously they have all types of styles. I mean, because K-pop really just means Korean pop, but I mean, there's like so much different type of Korean music, as there isn't any like country wherever you come from. There's so many different types. So, but what I've listened to is basically like kind of upbeat, and it's really fun. So yeah, I still really like it. And I mean, I live with a Korean man, so I mean, he sings Korean music and he listens to Korean music, watches shows where people are competing to sing, and so there's this Korean all around me, and I'm okay with that. It's starting to bubble a little bit. There's still like 45 seconds left on my timer, but I'm just gonna add in the spices now. So remember, about a half teaspoon of all the spices I named. I actually added 1 full teaspoon of garam masala just because I really like that spice. The spices are in there. I'm gonna also add in my chickpeas and then just let it go for like 3 or 4 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna add in the coconut milk. Shake this up a little bit, but it's like so solid, so I think it's like super rock hard inside. So let's see. So apparently that's what happens when it's cold in your kitchen. It's like rock hard. Oh my god, this thing's so annoying. Anyways, let's just squeeze that and pop it in. Go, go. Ooh, that's kind of gross, but whatever. Nice. Anything else? Oh, that's good. Yeah, so there's my coconut milk. Well, it will become coconut milk once it's like softens up. Yeah. At this point, you can also add in your basil. If you have fresh basil, that would be awesome. I did have fresh basil, but it like went bad in the fridge because I didn't use it fast enough. But I'm just gonna put in some dried basil now. Coconut oil, or no, it looks like coconut oil at this point, but the coconut milk is almost dissolved. It looks so creamy and delicious. So I would just leave it go for a few minutes, and then you can add in your salt and pepper, and then just turn it off and let it sit so that the flavors can get into the potatoes a little bit more. And then it's just done. And I would just serve this over rice or something, whatever you want, quinoa. I'll probably make some brown rice and have this tonight. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that. I kind of just really like cooking, and if I can share it with somebody, then that's good too. So if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and share it if you think somebody else might enjoy it. I'll try to put the link for the real recipe down below, so you can follow that if you want, or just get another idea. So this is just how I made it with what I had on hand, and I think it worked out really nice. I haven't tasted it yet, so I'm gonna taste it right now before I go, just to see what it tastes like. Just get a taste of like the creamy broth. It's pretty good. It tastes like creamy tomato soup, but I mean it's got the vegetables and it's got like a bit of like the coconut milk taste, which is fine with me. So if you like coconut, like it's not very strong, but you'll taste it a little bit, but I think it's just like a creamy taste. So it's really good and I'm excited to eat this later. So anyways, I'll see you next time. So I just got home from work and it was a pretty good day. I had 4 classes, all grade 1, and I definitely like grade 1 classes. The students are just so cute and really sweet, and they try to talk to me a lot, which I love. And then I did a lot of studying after that at work. And then, I don't know, I was just feeling tired, and I'm supposed to be going to an art class tonight that's at 6:30 until 9. I sent an email to the person who runs the art class, and he does seem to speak a little English. He says that he has better Spanish. I was like, I have a little Spanish, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm just kind of like not feeling that motivated to go, even though I should, because I just like, I spend, a fair amount of time hanging out, more than I do like actually going out and doing things, like at least during the week. On the weekend we're pretty busy usually doing things, but during the week I'll just like do chores around the house, or just do things at home, or maybe we'll go out to eat or something. But well, yeah, I mean there's also rock climbing, which I was doing, and I still am doing or plan to do more. But yeah, so I'll probably go, and if I can, I'll take you with me, and we'll just see what happens, see what kind of art we're doing. Apparently, like, they have all the supplies there, and I'll just go and use it, and it's like drawing and watercolor maybe, so I don't know. I don't know what my expectations are. I'm just looking to have like a good experience and a good time, so yeah. Next time you see me, probably be there, even though I'm a little bit tired. I made it to the place with 10 minutes to spare. I'm just trying to find the right door to go into. Maybe like a panorama shot. Wow, actually. Where did you get those? Where did you buy them?
Yahoo.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Cool. This is yours as well? It's cool. Did you drew this in Madrid? Okay. And this one too?
With pen?
Oh, I see. Cool.
Oh,
For explanation? Like this one is awesome. I wish that one was mine. But this one's mine, but it's just started. I think some people will say this is good. I hope so. It's looking better. That's the apple. It's better except for that. I think that's yours. But maybe that's the bruise. You want to say hello?
Hello.
I mean, the top of the apple isn't really where it should be, but I like how it looks on camera. Okay, I'm done, so I'm gonna go home and then I'll tell you about the experience. So I'm now at home and this is the finished product. It looks basically how it did probably the last time I showed you it. Anyways, now it's signed, so it's official and it's done, and I'm just chilling. So I was gonna tell you my opinion on art classes. I don't know what my expectation is for art classes. I feel like I've got this idea, like from high school, if you ever take high school art class, like the teacher sort of demonstrates like a technique of some sort before you get into like something new, like if you're getting into watercolor or if you're just getting into drawing, and you start with something small. You do like little boxes, and you do like some cross hatching or whatever, and then you move on to like a small model and then something bigger, and then you just draw whatever, like you make your own project or something. But I haven't had that experience really since then, besides like those sort of like painting parties in Williams Lake, and I'm sure those are really popular in other places, but like there's like a painting goal in mind, and you go to the party, and then everybody starts, and like the person who painted the original picture like guides you step by step through it, like what paint you're supposed to use and like where to paint, and that's really enjoyable, and it's like a super social thing, so you can't really beat that. But I've had sort of two of the same experiences going to art classes. Once, like, I took art classes when I was in South Korea, and it was basically the same thing as what I just experienced today. So when I was in Korea, I met an artist by chance at an art gallery, and he agreed to do art classes with me, even though his English was like pretty subpar. But I did go to a couple of them, but he just sat at his like little desk, and he was kind of doing his own painting and whatever, and then he kind of like set me up and was like, hey, like just like choose something you want to draw, like set up the fruit in such a way, and then like he set up my paper, and I don't even think I got that paper. I think he probably like kept it. Anyways, and then I just like sat there, and he didn't really help me or anything. Like he did come over and kind of like, he pointed out a couple things, and like maybe he drew the lines a little bit bigger, or he made the size more accurate or something, or like maybe he showed me where there should be more shading, kind of, but like most of the time I was just sitting there by myself, which is what happened today too. Like I came in with basically no expectations. Like, okay, no, I did have expectations. I was just thinking like, anytime there's a class, I just imagine that like the teacher has an idea, they have a plan, they want like the students to like go through some sort of like step by step, and by the end like this is kind of like where you should be or something. But so far, like I've been to like this class now, and he just set me up at the oh my god, I'm forgetting words. Ugh, this is like a problem. The easel. So he set me up at the easel with like a little chair and like a blank piece of paper, and then he turned on the light that shone down on like the apple and the box, and he was just like, draw. I was like, okay. So I kind of told him like, I'm not really that good at like proper shading. Like I can draw from a picture very well, and I can draw from like a live subject, but I'm not that good at like looking at like where the light comes from and like drawing all the shading around it where it's supposed to be, or like cross hatching. Like I'm not very good at that, and so I just kind of wanted like a lesson or something. But he kind of showed me a little bit, and he brought me over some like printouts of like arrows pointing, and like a box and lines and like point of view and stuff. But he was just kind of like, here you go, and then he like sat down, And this is a person who's like super nice. We had a really nice conversations, and like he told me about his story. Like he went to Madrid to study art and learn Spanish, and he took art classes before that, and he took Spanish class, and he seems like a really nice person. But like he could tell he was bored. I could see him in the background, and he was just like, he was like shuffling around from side to side, and like he would kind of walk around a little bit, and he'd bring some art out and kind of show me. But I was like, well, why don't you draw with me, or like sit beside me and like do it together or something? But that's just not what happened, and so I just like wonder what the point of a class is right now. Like I've had the same experience in South Korea. Now I've had the same experience here. And it's like I have art like supplies. I've got paper, I've got pencils, like so many pencils. I've got really nice paintbrushes, I've got acrylics, I've got watercolors, like I've got all that kind of stuff. So I don't even need to be at a studio. Like I don't know what I'm paying for, because like he's like, you can come to the studio and like all the products you use are free. He's like, we have paintbrushes, like that's free. I was like, well, what am I paying for then? Because if I'm just sitting there like putting in the effort, but you're not really doing anything to like guide me or help me, like what am I don't know. Like, do you understand what I'm getting at? Like is anybody else gone to an art class like that, or is that normal? I don't know, just let me know. Like if you have any ideas or thoughts, or you can sympathize with me, or like, you think like, what should I do? Like just, comment below or something. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on art classes in general. And, not that it's not enjoyable. You're sort of in a space. It's like if you're studying, like if you leave your house or go into a separate room, then you get into that mode where you're like, now I can study. Now I'm out in a different spot where I can focus better on something. So like while I'm at that studio, this is the first time I've done any drawing in quite some time. So like that's a good thing. But like, I just didn't really understand what I was getting out of it. So, I mean, I like the apple on the box. It's cool, but I just was expecting more, I guess. Anyways, this is going on forever. I'm like so bad for talking such a long time. Jimmy's like, you just talk for like 3-4 minutes. I was like, well, this is like, these videos that I make are meant to be like communication between me and my family, and like we don't get to talk all the time, and like there's the time difference is difficult to set up like meetings and stuff. So like this is where I just get my thoughts out, and if you're willing to listen, then that's really nice. So yeah, anyways, it's like 9 o'clock now. The lesson was supposed to go 6:30 till 9 lesson. But like after drawing that apple for like 2 hours, I was like, oh God, like I can't focus on this apple anymore. Like, I don't know. Anyways, and I was the only person there. Did I say that? Yeah, so I was just the only person there. I guess no people take night classes. So yeah, like, I mean, I had a good conversation with the teacher and whatnot. But, it wasn't quite the social scene that I was hoping for. I'm like, I'm desperate for people. Anyways, let's just move on. Tomorrow we're going to a basketball game, so that'll probably be the next thing you see.